This article shows it's actually a good idea to buy XRP in October. Let's see, why is XRP a good buy? It's really necessary to reduce hype as much as possible, and reality should be focused on. So, digitization is one of the important aspects within the government aspects and their frameworks. Now, within that aspect of governments and regulators, they will have more concerns regarding energy consumption and other items. So let's listen to this one first.
The Bitcoin's mining, which is this accelerated and augmented use of computers to actually determine the value and incentivize the functioning of the mechanism, is energy intensive. Angry. Yeah. And, we figure that in 2018, if it continues, that system will actually consume as much electricity as Argentina.
Let's develop that euro strong currency that will be a currency of preference. These things happen gradually over time, and then it happens very fast.
So energy is a real concern, and that gives the edge for XRP. Partnerships are an important factor in this journey, right? Partnerships are important, but more important is the role of XRP in a tokenized and digitized economy, because as we are entering into that level of digitization and looking towards tokenized and digitized economy, considering that really is important, right? If you look at this one, you get an idea for that, and this gives an edge for XRP, and the rate of adoption of the XRP ledger for tokenization will increase as we get appropriate regulations. And then the competition from SWIFT looks, they are focusing on the area where Ripple is focusing much on, which is the low value, high frequency payments. Now that is a real concern there, but if you go through the article and read the entire stuff, you will understand one thing. Yeah, they have reach around the world, but low value payments should be competitive. If SWIFT really want to compete in that space where fintechs are ruling, there's a lot of different aspects to look at. Look what they are stating here. Interbank messaging, SWIFT is to move into low value remittance market. So we'll discuss through that and take an educated decision. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. If you saw value for your time, please do support the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. If you would like to extend your support, opening your heart, you can use Patreon, PayPal, or the XRP wallet address given in the description below. We'll go through different aspects of XRP becoming the internet of value, which is being mentioned in research publications, documents, and the partnerships and the reality which is being implemented in the ground. So guys, let's dive into that. On a shorter time frame, this is what we see. We were following a pattern, but we broke to the downside, which is bearish on a shorter time frame. If you look at the pattern, yes, the supporting of this trend line is going towards the bottom, but if you look at the price action, you can understand after getting to this level, the horizontal support resistance was acting as a support rather than the trend line support, and then the price action moved to the upside, after which this particular trend line, which is the rounded bottom one, which is going through there, should be acting as a resistance, which should be around 0.227, 0.228, or even just at 0.23. Now that's on a shorter time frame while looking at it. If you zoom out and look at it on a weekly chart, you get to see this one, right? An ascending triangle, and whenever you see a ascending triangle, it usually breaks to the upside. So, three triangles looking at symmetrical triangle, ascending and descending. Here, you're getting kind of this one. And if you are a trader, you should be looking for that huge shaped bullish candle through the breakout or a retest to buy that. And not always you get a retest, but it's better to look for a retest to get a confirmation that it's not a fake out. Once you get the confirmation of that, it should be better to buy. Now, if you look at this aspect, which is like the situation now in 2020, if you look at the resistance support area and then compare it with the last cycle ranging from 2015 to 2017, this is what you actually see. Like, what do you actually see here? Say, it's not like I'm putting something out to you, trying to put it into your mind. Instead, look at the chart and the pattern. We actually went through this. This was acting as a long-term support resistance line. This is support here, and this is the resistance line, which turned into a support. So that's the support resistance before we pumped to the upside. Now, yes, look at this. It was a pattern in which we were moving through the bearish phase. But after that, we broke that and entered into a consolidation phase, which looks similar at this particular point, right? But it's here where we broke out of that entire trend. And now looking at the first bounce and then the second bounce, it's not a textbook double bottom, but you get a long shaved bullish candle there, intending to show you that it is a reversal pattern. So now it's up to you whether you should go into a smaller time frame chart and look at the bearishness and say the price is going down, 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 or look at a bit zoomed out, say at least on a daily view or weekly or monthly, depending upon how smart you are and how long you are ready to wait, and the patience really matter, right? So in that aspect, you should be looking at something like this, 0.6, 0.8 and all, but it really takes patience. It may come up here and break from here, or it may go back and trade within that range. And you should assume that the range would be continuing similarly. Say it's like the price went from here to here, then moved like this. It went to the top, it came to the bottom. Now you should assume that it should be continuing in this pattern unless it breaks to the down or to the upside. Chances are that we may break to the upside, and if it does, then the target is like this, reaching up to 0.73. Assume 70 to 80% of that, say 0.65 to 0.69 would be an appropriate target. Now that's all on the technical side, right? Because today we have a lot more in the fundamental sides to go through. This article actually kind of puts out that perspective, like buying Ripple might be a good idea in October, and they use different kind of analysis looking at the technicals and the fundamentals as well, because we'll actually go through that phase of fundamentals. Now in technical side, this is a different analysis from a different guy who's also pointing towards that bullish momentum, which is following XRP in price, right? So when we look at that one and understand that the partnerships are also increasing, expanding the reach of this particular asset, it really is a huge news. And Michael sent me this one, which kind of highlights how Ripple is expanding, and this news is really huge one because it shows ACI worldwide with over 14 trillion daily transactions in payments and security service is now partnering with MasterCard. We don't know what actually is happening in the background because there is a lot of non-disclosure agreements, which is kind of keeping information away from us. But when we look at the entire thing, that the economy is going to be digitized, we're going to get our tokenized assets, then understand that Sologenic is doing this for XRP Ledger, and then we see another aspect in which XRP Ledger is being used by FinNexus for tokenized assets, and they kind of highlights it. XRP will be utilized for tokenized asset issuance. If we go and check total financial assets in this world, you will understand what kind of a huge market are we talking about, and that really is huge because this one is actually being partnered with BitTrue, which is an exchange kind of supporting XRP from an all-time, and then tokenized real assets to the XRP ledger. So if you're talking anything about XRP ledger, that really means XRP is involved, and they are kind of sorting Leonid's tweet there. Now let's actually look at this one, Swift to move into low value consumer payments. Now you and me as an ordinary individual, say if you have an experience as an expat, you would understand you would be sending say $1,000 to or $500 back to your home, and when you actually do that, would you prefer a fintech which kind of takes like $5 in fees or $2 in fees, or rather will you actually go to a bank which kind of takes 10% of the entire one? or even 8 to 10% say, and you are not even sure whether you are sending $1,000, which is, like along with the fees, it would be 1,060, 1,070, and you're not even sure that the entire 1,000 will reach the destination. Because, it takes 2 to 3 days, and by that time, the problem is the conversion rate will actually vary, and that will eat another chunk of your money. So if they are to enter into this market, here they are talking about what? They are talking about the nostro-vostro account connected low value payments. So if they have to do this, there are a lot of different aspects to consider. Say, the head of CBFX and multi-currency payments at Barclays comments, customers' need and expectations are changing as the world is becoming increasingly digital and instant. And cross-border payments are no exception to this. So when customers are looking at an area where they can use, say, XRP Ledger token from here, send money to another side, or even use PayPal, if you can, use PayPal for your regular use, then that's cool. But not every country allows that, right? So if you are in South Korea, you can actually use PayPal to send money to a friend within South Korea. It can't be done, right? Instead, you can actually use that PayPal money to buy something. That's cool. But understand, different countries have different restrictions for those, right? But when you use fintech, that's entirely different. Say, I'll just will go into a fintech website, and I would like to show you guys what it really means to use a fintech rather than using a bank. So in this example, say this is what I do, sending money from, say, Korean won towards this Indian rupee. So when you look at this, what do you actually see here? If you send that one, this is like, say, $1,000. So if you are sending $1,000, it would be like 3 zeros more. So that is like 62,000 rupees in India, but you are saving how much? You have to actually understand that when you are looking at bank, they kind of takes around $65, say 68,000 won, 67,000 won, and the fee of send B is like $2, say 2,500 won. That's 97% in savings. So that's why they highlight directly here, think outside the bank. If you have an option like this, why would you actually go to the bank? Now, the disclaimer here should be like, I use this function, so I understand. 2,500 won, meaning it may take 2 days. But the instant payments message would be like 5,000 won. That is like $4.50. That, if you use that function, the money would be reaching, 5 minutes, 6 minutes. The money would be there from the time you deposit it to send B. It would be there in your home account. And what you have to understand is, even that $4 compared to 2.5, it may be a bit high, but compared to the $65 from the banks, it's way cheaper. So will an ordinary guy go towards Swift payment system, which is charging this hegemonic, 68,000 won for $1,000, which is, say, $65 for your $1,000? Will you actually go to that, or you would come to a, now this is not an advertisement for send B, or they are not paying me. I'm just explaining this because I use this function to send money back home. So in my experience, I won't actually go to a bank. Why should I do that? Because this one gives more purchasing power at the end, receiving end, right? More value at the receiving end. Now, understand that Swift is currently doing for this value, right? So if they are entering into low value remittance market, how can they compete with this market? One, they have to provide instant payments, which is kind of the thing which we highlighted here. Everything is going instant. So they are looking at some kind of delivery system instantly. But are they talking about XRP? No, I don't actually think so. They're still talking about the nostro-vostro account and how they are dealt with. What you have to understand here is they may give you an improved cost transparency, meaning I told you, like here, if you look at this, you'll directly understand that if you send this much, you'll receive this much. You'll just pay the fee like this, right? But for banks, it was not like that. You'll pay this fee, and after that, the amount, say $1,000 which you're sending, it won't reach there like that. It would be $995, $993, something like that after the conversions. Here, what they will do is if you are sending that 1,000, they will actually show you this will be the amount which the receiver get. Right now it's not there, but they will actually give you that transparency. But the problem with that is, even if they increase the speed of execution and the predictability of payment, issue is it's a brick and mortar bank system. They need to pay a lot of individuals. It's not a blockchain technology. They are not a fintech using this blockchain revolution. You have to understand that. So even if they are to reduce their fee, they can maybe reduce 50%, 40%, but still it's costly for a common man, because they are talking about low value payments and it's consumers who pay the fees. Why would a consumer pay double fee, right? If I go into a bank, use that, or online banking, it really costs me more. Instead, if I go to any fintech, let it be SendB, let it be any other thing in your region, it's a different story, right? So this should not even be considered as a competition, because those guys who have at least a little bit of brain to think of purchasing power, the amount you're sending to your loved one, they will not go for this thing. Now, when we saw this one highlighting that buying XRP or Ripple might be a good idea here. Now, yes, when I use the word Ripples and XRP, some guys really get confused, and I saw that in the comment too, highlighting XRP means exchange rate peg, and I was surprised. Personally, I was really surprised how many newcomers are there in this market. And for those who don't understand that, XRP is Ripple. You have to understand that XRP is just the symbol. Okay, the creators chose the ticker symbol XRP. From the term Ripple credits or ripples. You have to understand that. X prefix for non-national currencies in the ISO standard. So X stand for that one, and ripples is RP. That is XRP. Don't get confused with those guys, pumping shit like it's exchange rate peg and all. The reality is not that, it's this one. So when I use the term ripples, don't be confused. It's about XRP itself. Now, Ripple XRP transaction will increase by 1000% till 2025. Now that's kind of a conservative extrapolation. If you ask me, I'll say that. Now when we are looking at that kind of a huge attempt in a way towards XRP ledger being used for tokenization, digitization from bank and all, it really gets cool. Now, why would I actually argue that to you guys? Because this is what we actually see from, say, a banking association from Australia, a new digital economy. They are all looking at digital economy. So what did I start this video with? Digitized, tokenized economy. That's where we are headed, and that's the right balance where we are actually going towards, right? To solve that, what we need is an internet of value. So what is internet of value? When they talk about internet of value, they are talking about IntelliJ protocol, pay ID and other stuff, which kind of gives you that edge. So reading this, what do you actually think? Am I hyping this or creating this out of something? Is this actually coming out from thin air? No, these are documents which I've researched and read through, and I understand that these are the real fundamentals on which we are investing on XRP. Even if you didn't know this, you just came out to, just because it went up 140,000 last time, you are here, then the problem will with that be the market cycle. You have to understand, if you are someone who are just here listening to this one, like the asset pumped 140,000% in that cycle, and I'm gonna be a millionaire just by investing $1,000. Yeah, that can be a good thing if you have patience, but to be motivated, to accumulate more, to understand how you get profit, you need to understand about the market cycle. And you need to have that level of patience until the market reaches that high. Otherwise, look at this. These kind of phases would kick those kind of guys out. If you look at this from at least the second peak towards the next one, it took like 8-20 days last time when there were less individuals involved in the market. Still, that may push a lot of guys outside, and now if you look at the second peak, which is the all-time high, till the day it's 1000 days. So it is like being extended, right? So you need to be patient, and in order to be patient on this asset, you need to understand the real fundamentals, and that's why we try to dig in as much as possible. Now, one thing is for sure, if you don't learn 1, 2, 3 and all, you can't go into multiplication directly. So history for me is important. It's no objection to anyone, but for me, if I don't understand what happened previously, I won't be able to understand what really is happening now. Because now there are a lot of individuals who are coming in just to get profits. Now, it's not like I'm here for the technology, not the profits. It's not that statement, but it is a statement. I am here for profit, but I understand what I should be going through to get that. Now, this article shows you the internet of value. And at the bottom, yes, I was really surprised to see IOTA with XRP being considered as internet of value here. The IOV is highlighted as internet of value. So here they are highlighting specific protocols that propel the development of internet of value, such as XRP and IOTA. Yes, they name XRP. Don't get confused. Now when you go to different documents, now yes, this presentation is from Ripple, but I got this from a Japanese regulatory website. Japanese government. If you look at the website address here, fsa.go.jp, they still have it there. And what is it talking about? It's talking about the internet of value. So you are being able to see this from various aspects, different geographical region, governments, regulators and other stuff. And that really is important. If you don't understand, you really have to try and understand this one. Why? Because when you go through different documents, this is what you actually get through. Say I talked about tokenization, right? Now in this particular tokenization, this now report from KPMG, and if you look at tokenization, they are talking about what? Ether for Casper and XRPs for Ripple, while various others do not utilize native cryptocurrencies but can still provide ability to tokenize different assets. Now remember, this is a bit old document, but now we are able to see something like this. This was the end of last year, like just 1 year. That's not actually a huge time in the financial market. This is early this year, right? So when we look at internet of value, tokenization, it really is getting hot. Now, this is the topic on table on which financial markets are weighing in. And then XRP Crypto Wolf sent me this one. And I'm thankful to him, shout out to him, because this one shows Ripple Labs' ability to look into smart contracts. Now with Flare, Spark, it's not only the Spark distribution, but also the ability of smart contracts entering into XRP Ledger. Those guys using XRP Ledger can use that, right? And at the same time, this one is coming out. Ripple has been granted a new patent for executing smart contracts with smart oracles. These are adoption. These are happening in the background. Guys, you have to understand, if individuals are building something at the background, you may not be able to see the value. Now, being a civil engineer, I can say that once you are starting to construct say a G+10, G+20 building, those guys who can see the value would buy, say, an apartment, a flat, or whatever you call, at initial stage before the construction. But the majority, I'll agree, vast majority of people come after the complete construction stage and when the price is so high. So if you are a guy who see value, now in that example, you should be looking at the location, what are the resources available, the amenities and other stuff, along with the facilities provided. Now I agree with that at that time you'll only be able to see a 3D model or plan in the paper, right? But when you get a constructed building, it's so easy to see, it has value. But you would be paying much more for that. In a similar aspect here, Ripple and XRP Ledger is being used to build a lot of different things. And these are happening in the background and you're getting these hints. So what should you be doing? That is the real deal there. Now, I saw this one from King Solomon highlighting about Apnify, supporting XRP Ledger and all, that they actually don't believe on that aspect, and me too. We actually went through this previously, showcased about this, we went in detail, right? Looks like a bit of competition there, right? And at the bottom, Mikey B Fresh highlighted this thing. It looks like a deleted document, but it also highlights a possibility of what? A possibility of competition. Now you can't actually neglect that. At the same time, I actually wanted to highlight this one. Dinesh pointed this and tagged me in this one, and I would like to highlight you guys. Be careful. Hacks will always be there. So always make sure that your password is not exposed. Always make sure you use a two-factor authentication and keep your account secure. Guys, I hope you received value from this content, and if you really did, please do support the channel. Hit that like and subscribe button. If you would like to extend your support, open your heart, be genuine, and look at the Patreon, PayPal, or the XRP wallet address given in the description below. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.